Okay, back to the Chevelle. I've been cleaning the underneath of the car. I've used a power washer. I've used acid, that chrome cutter. It actually says that it leaves it with a, what do you call it? It turns the metal black, because what it does is it converts whatever rust is there to a metal oxide, a paintable metal surface. And I read the Pour 15, and it says that they want you to convert the rust, and that's what that does. So what I've done is I've power washed it. I've used a wire brush and brushed all of the loose fill off of it. I've cleaned my springs with the wire brush and painted that, or I primed them. I've got my rear painted. Now I'm getting ready to, I've pulled the shocks off. Got it pretty much loose. I've got the control arms are what's holding the existing differential into the car, and I'm going to be taking that off right now. I've loosened up the bolts. I've got to take the brakes off first, and then take that off, and then I'll be setting the new rear in. I probably won't be doing that today, but we'll be getting it all ready to do. And let me show you what I've got so far. Okay, here's the rear differential. It's completely painted. This is the one where I replaced that 12 bolt rear. There's the old 12 bolt non-posi unit that I took out, and of course the posi unit's installed, but she's all nice and clean, ready to go in the car. I have the old cover on it still because it's going to get beat up. Those are the new axles. These are the springs that have been cleaned and wire wheeled and then primed, so they're ready to go. They should look nice when they're painted. I've got them painted on one side because I ran out of paint, essentially is what I did. So I painted them on the one side, you can see that. But on the other side, they still need to be painted. Right now they're primed with that, what do you call it? Acid etching primer. So it should be okay. And to the car, everything's been Pour 15'd, as you can see. I don't know if you can see that very well. That's my drop-offs. Wherever I've repaired them, the welds are still there, but it's all been Pour 15'd. I might put some seam seal along the welds, but I think they're in good shape. Let's do the other side. I think they're in decent shape. You got a couple of marks on them, but you know what? They're solid. This thing's just not very well. There you go. That's the underneath of the car. Those are the upper control arms. Those little ones. I have brand new ones. Well, not new ones. I have good used ones that I've painted. They're ready to go in there. But all the spring purchase have been painted. All the back areas have been painted. Underneath the trunk, all painted with Pour 15. Pour 15. There was some what do you call it? Some heavy duty rubber undercoating in here. I couldn't even get that out. It was in there so tight. So, but all in all, she's painted. I don't know if you can see that very well. Painted with the Pour 15. And I've taken the shocks out. I've taken the springs out. I've loosened the bolts. They're barely holding them on, as you can see. They're just loose. And now I'm going to be taking the brakes out. And part of the reason why I'm making this video is I want to, videotape the way the springs are and everything. It's been a long time since I've done this, so I definitely want to, do a good job. I don't know if you can see the rest of the car, the under of the floor, but it's been replaced. It's been grinded and painted. I got a little booger on the left-hand side, but it's welded solid, so I don't care. It doesn't have to look perfect. Who's going to look underneath the car? And the car's 50 years old. I think it looks damn good for 50. And there's no grease under here. It's all been cleaned. It's all been wire wheeled. It's all been painted. The front left driver's side floorboard has been replaced. She's in really good condition. Now, with the new rear in here, it should make a big difference. Let me see if I can get out of here. Oh, without killing myself. This is the rear brakes that I'm taking apart right now. This is what I want to document. I want to document it pretty well if I can. I've got to pull this emergency brake cable. Let's see if I can get a good picture of this so I can. It's difficult to see, but I'm hoping I get enough of a picture to help me remember all the springs and where they go. Should be interesting. I haven't done this in a while, but I've done 100 brakes, so they're all the same. It's just nice to have it. I've pour 15 I've seam sealed this in pour 15. It looks ugly, but I will make it look better before I'm done. I have to paint all this. She's all done. It's like anything, you know. You do the best you can. When you're working with a 50-year-old car, it's just the way it is, you know. Here's the other side. It's a weird looking spring. It's all kind of deformed. I'll probably replace all the springs. They're cheap enough. But it's nice to know what you got to what you're working with. Okay, and then of course this is all pour 15 as well. Pretty good shape. 50-year-old car, you know, what are you going to say? And of course there's a seam seal as well. Same deal. I've left a sticker on it where it says AMD. I don't know why. Kind of stupid on my part. I'll probably take that off too. But she's in there nice and tight, and I pour 15 the inside so that, I don't know if you can see that. Inside of the well where I welded. Anyway, that's all she wrote. I'll come back later. I also pour 15 inside the doors. Inside the doors, now those are the holes for the molding. I'm going to be welding them shut, but that's, as you can see, that just demonstrates that the pour 15 has come out through those holes. And I'm going to have to sand them, weld them, and fix a lower panel. But at least it shows that it's been done on both doors. The lower section of the door panels have been cleaned with pour 15. That, I don't know if I can show you that. Let's see. Oh, it's a lot of work. It never ends. I don't know if you can see inside there. It's all dark. You can't. But it's all been pour 15 so that you're not gonna, it's not going to rust anymore. There was no rust in the bottom of the doors. The doors are solid, you know. And here's the inside of the car. Since the last time you've seen it, it's a mess. Gotta look worse before it looks better. I still have to clean all this out and paint the whole floor. But she's solid, she's in, she's done. She's ready to paint, and then insulation goes on top of that. All right, let me get back to work. I just wanted to show you what I got so far. Okay, thank you. Well, I've got her out. She's completely out. I've even replaced the the upper control arms. Those are the ones that I picked out. They're in really great shape and had new bushings on it. The lower control arms are okay. I just sanded them down. I'm gonna have to sand them down a little bit more, but I'm gonna have to do a little bit of work to them to paint them. But all in all, I think I got it. I think we're looking okay. Those are the control arms. Job. You can see I sanded them down. I'll tell you what, working on your back all day long is just a misery. but when it's done, it's going to be worthwhile, I'm sure. But I got all the rear out of it. I'll tell you what, if you want to see the kind of rust I had to deal with. This is the old control arm that I took out. It's not, I mean, it needs new bushings, you know. Metal's pretty solid, but it's rusty, you know. It's rusty, and you know what? I got the other ones. Somebody had put them on their car, changed the bushings, then decided to go with tubular control arms, and sold them to me for $40. The two bushings alone are 20 bucks new. So I figured, hey, what the hell? For 20 bucks for the guy cleaned them up, painted them, did a really nice job. Can't go wrong. Now these things, I could probably sell them on eBay for 20, 30 bucks if I wanted to. I probably don't give a shit. I'll just put them on the shelf somewhere, and if somebody ever needs them, they're here. They're here. The joy of working on a classic car. It's a pain in the ass. But hey, my radiator came in today. I got a new bumper for the Camaro. That's the Camaro. New bumper for it. I'll be putting that on shortly. Yep. And I got the fans came in, the shroud for the radiator. I'm getting there. Now I got to get the gas tank for it. A fuel injected gas tank there, you know, 500 bucks. But I'll get there, little by little. Hopefully by winter I'll have a rolling, running chassis, you know, which I think would be great. I've got the 12 volt. I'm telling you, wrestling these old rears out by yourself's a job. If I get that thing situated in, you know, under here by this afternoon, I'll be happy. What I've got to do is I've got to get it situated under there. Then I got to hook up or tie in the upper control arms first with the jack it up, and then raise the lower control arm with the torsion bar, with the rear torsion bar, and then bolt it on. That's the only way I can figure to do it by myself, you know. Anyway, I'll get back to you. We'll get her done. Talk to you later, guys. Well, folks, I don't know, I guess I'm recording. I'm tired. It's been a good Sunday working on the car, and thought I'd show you what I've accomplished so far. Got a lot more work to go, but she's starting to look like something, and that's what counts, you know. A little bit of progress every day, or every other day, or whatever, and she's gonna look like something. Let me turn it around and show you what I got. There she is. Oh my God. I know it don't look like a whole lot. I did the rear wheels. Of course, you can see the axle's in, differential's in, and I've got new emergency brakes there. I put new air shocks in there. You've seen the quarter panel. That was done a long time ago. If I ever get it completed, who the fuck knows? I shouldn't say that, but it's my baby. There you go. Let's see if I can make this thing a little. There's the axle cover. I don't know if you can see all this, but I've replaced my ear shocks. Going all the way up. as you can see. Put new brake lines on it. New lines all the way across. Got my air shocks all the way up there. She's all pour forward, pour 15. Yeah. Let me see. There's some spots where I need to work on some rust, but not a whole lot. I got the new control arms on the top, both sides. Got the new 12-bolt rear sitting in it. Pour 15 the sway bar. I don't know if you can see that. I know I can't see it for shit on this thing. It's really dark. All in all, it looks pretty good. I mean, compared to what it was. 10 bolt is out, 12 bolt is in. I've got new brake lines going to the block. New brake lines going across the differential. I get the whole kit for the brake lines from Interline. It's a beautiful setup. It's really tight. Of course, it's all set up over here. Got it all this done. It's all pour 15. Looks rough. I'll probably put some lizard skin underneath the inner wells to make it look a little better than I did. The car's a mess. I put this new quarter, as you can see, all the way up to the top. I got a lot of work to go. But slow progress. You just can't expect a 50-year-old car restored to be restored overnight. It takes a lot of work, but I love it. It's a lot of fun, and when I'm completed, I'll be happy. Hell, I'm happy as it is, just working on it. It actually relaxes me, if you know what I'm talking about. It relaxes me. It gives me all that. It relieves a lot of tension. When I get more to report, when I'm finished up in the rear and putting all the brake lines in and the gas line and all the rest of it all, I'll get back to you. But once I get this done, I'm going to put that fuel injection gas tank in it, and then we'll drop the LS1 motor in it, and we'll see where we come from, what we have. I still got to find a place to build my drive shaft. I've got the old SS gas drive shaft, so I guess they cut the back of that to fit the rear, and I guess the new LS1 drive shaft, aluminum shaft, will tie into the transmission. We'll see. I'm learning. It's kind of cool though. Anyway, I'll show you more when I've got more to show you. Talk to you later.